know it's me. Everybody around here knows it's me. God knows it was me.
37 years later, a Yakima man claimed Bigfoot in the legendary footage 2 Yakima men shot. But did he?
It cannot be a human. No way on earth it can be a human.
John Stoplett investigates brand new revelations made in this book and see what happens when Evening Magazine recreates the legendary film.
Evening, everyone.
John Curley.
Evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. I want you to forget everything you think you know about the legend of Bigfoot, because there's a man in Yakima who's talking now and making some people very, very upset. John Stoplett has his story.
Northern California, 1967. 2 men from Yakima, Washington, capture images of Bigfoot on film. Or did they?
This is the time people knew the truth about this.
So you're telling me that when I see this film of Bigfoot, that's not Bigfoot at all?
No, that was me inside that suit.
Yakima's Bob Heironimus says the film many Bigfoot believers consider proof the creature exists is big-time phony.
But it fooled millions of people for a long time. I could have spilled my guts, 30 years ago or more, if I really wanted, if I really thought, that I was going to make a fortune off it. But I kept it quiet because I promised I would. And I think after 35 years of my, the truth should come out.
Heironimus says Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, the 2 men who captured the so-called Patterson-Gimlin footage of that alleged Bigfoot, asked him in 1967 to wear a type of gorilla suit for their film. They said they'd pay him $1,000 when the job was done.
I was a young fellow then, I said, well, $1,000, that's quite a bit of money. Sure, I'll do it.
So you're thinking I wear this suit for 10 minutes and I get my $1,000 and...
That's the end of it, yeah. I keep my mouth shut.
Heironimus says he tries on the gorilla suit and Patterson teaches him an ape walk.
Showed me how he wanted me to walk, how an ape or a gorilla would walk, sort of. He said, that's perfect, that's all we need.
According to Bob Heironimus, he drives to Northern California, meets up with Patterson and Gimlin, and travels to the film site.
I got into the Bigfoot suit nervous, actually worried about getting shot.
By a hunter.
Yeah. Anyway, they were ready, and they said, okay, Bob, start walking. And I walked out across, the place there where they had picked out. I looked back at him, went off into the brush. People filmed it, the horse was there. He was dripping the camera up and down. That's perfect, that was perfect. Didn't have to do nothing else. I jumped down, there's a big hole there. I jumped down in there, I said, get this son of a off me.
Patterson allegedly asked Heironimus to take that gorilla suit with him. According to Heironimus, Patterson and Gimlin then say they're staying to make fake Bigfoot tracks around the film site.
Roger and Bob come home, dropped my horse off, got the suit out of the car, and that's the last I saw.
Roger Patterson's Bigfoot film is instantly in the media spotlight. He charges audiences to see the movie, charges companies fees to use it for commercial purposes. Heironimus, the man allegedly in the suit, says he never got paid for the job.
How much did he pay you afterwards?
Not a one dime.
Nothing.
And they said, as we make money off this thing, we'll give you more money. Well, nothing ever materialized, not a dime of it, anything. I felt like I was took, I just cast away, like I wasn't any part of it.
See Roger Patterson, the first man yet to film Bigfoot.
When he heard Bob Heironimus' story, it didn't surprise author Greg Long of Mill Creek. Long and wife Pat spent several years researching Roger Patterson before writing a new book, The Making of Bigfoot.
And you start looking in to Roger Patterson, what do you find out?
I don't know how else to put it, but he would cheat people, and he would lie, and he would steal. And this is not a few people who told me this. This is dozens of people in Yakima who have told me the same story, that Patterson simply was not an honest man. A con artist, to put it bluntly. He persuaded them to invest in his schemes. He never paid them back. They got no money out of it. The only person who got money out of this film was Roger Patterson.
Long uncovers arrest warrants issued for Patterson, alleging he didn't return the very rental camera he used to shoot his Bigfoot film.
When you have a man like Roger Patterson, who you really couldn't trust, who did lie, who did steal, who did manipulate people, it casts a big shadow of doubt on that film.
In addition to Bob Heironimus' confession, reportedly backed up by a lie detector test, Greg Long also comes across this guy, Philip Morris, a North Carolina costume maker. Morris tells Long he sold a gorilla suit like this one to Roger Patterson a couple of months before Patterson allegedly modified the suit and shot his film.
Morris saw the Bigfoot on a news program, and he said, "That's my suit."
Bob Heironimus' mother, Opal, and others reportedly saw the suit in Heironimus' car when he returned to Yakima in the fall of '67.
Greg Long doesn't paint a very pretty picture of Roger Patterson. How would you describe him?
Roger was a crook, there's no doubt about it. Roger was a con man, a crook.
Patterson died in 1972 at age 38.
Would we be able to come by and just ask you a few questions?
We tried to give his widow, Pat Patterson, who reportedly still makes money selling her late husband's footage, a chance to answer the accusations.
No comment, okay? You want to leave it at that?
And what about Bob Gimlin, the other Yakima man Heironimus alleges was in on the hoax?
And I sure want to give him a chance to give his side of the story.
Gimlin's wife, Judy, says he doesn't talk to the media. However, we received a late fax from Gimlin stating, quote, "I was the only person with Roger Patterson when he filmed the creature. I have always believed what I saw was real and not a man in a suit. My belief has been supported by countless hours of research and scientific study," end quote. He goes on to say he has never profited from the film and says, quote, "Greg Long's book is a crudely written fantasy account of Bob Heironimus' attempt to make a few dollars and enjoy his 15 minutes of fame." Heironimus claims Gimlin told him something quite different when Heironimus said he was going public about the alleged hoax.
He said, "Well, I've lied about this thing for so many years, I have to keep lying to save face." And he says, "I probably will sue you. You can only carry a thing like that so long. It weighs you down, that's me, I know it's me. Everybody around here knows it's me. God knows it was me." It's just time to let people know that it was a hoax.
Or was it a hoax?
It cannot be a human. No way on earth it can be a human.
Why does this man say it is Gimlin who is telling the truth and Bob Heironimus that's lying? Why won't Heironimus do the ape walk he says proves he's Bigfoot for our video camera? And if we rented a gorilla suit and made our own Bigfoot film in a Seattle park, would it look real or fake?
We come right back, part 2 of John Stofflet's story, the closest anyone has ever gotten to Bigfoot. John Stofflet actually becomes Bigfoot right after this.
On for an exclusive Northwest creature, what they're hunting, and why it's so rare. Later on the show.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, a man from Yakima has told John Stofflet that Bigfoot film that you've probably seen, that's been around for 4 decades, is a hoax, and that he himself wore a monkey suit. Well, there's a guy from British Columbia, a scientist, who says, don't believe that for a second.
Is this Bigfoot or Big Bob Heironimus in a modified gorilla suit?
It's absolute proof in the film. It cannot be a human. No way on earth it can be a human.
Researcher and retired journalist John Green knew Roger Patterson, has studied his film and Bigfoot for decades, and says that is no man in a monkey suit.
But he can't be the man in the suit because he's, in the first place, not big enough, not tall enough, and in the second place, his arms are too short and his legs are too long. It's impossible. Physically impossible.
Green sent us a long list of what he believes to be inaccuracies in Long's book and holes in Heironimus' story.
I know Heironimus is lying because Heironimus hasn't got a clue in the world about where that movie was made. Big ego.
Green is angry author Greg Long focuses on filmmaker Roger Patterson and focuses very little on Patterson's film.
And he had this strange idea of his own that you could prove the film to be a fake by attacking the character of the person who held the camera. That he didn't pay some of his bills is not untrue. That he failed to return the camera when he should have is not untrue. But that he was a thief and a con man, that's ridiculous.
In that faxed statement from Bob Gimlin, the man Heironimus says was in on the hoax, Gimlin says the book is, quote, an ugly character assassination of a man no longer alive to answer the accusations.
so blinded by his own fixations that when he encountered a guy who'd been telling it in the tavern for 30 years that he was the guy in the suit, he just fell for the whole thing, hook, line, and sinker.
The Patterson film is really, for Bigfoot believers, a religious icon. That's the way that I would look at it. They worship this film. It is the single best piece of evidence they claim for Bigfoot. They're up in arms because I basically said the emperor has no clothes, and this made them very angry.
Green says when he hired an expert to run a computer analysis of the Patterson film, the results showed the creature could not have a human skeleton, that it's much wider and deeper and would have to belong to an unknown primate. The only other explanation, according to the study, that it was a sophisticated special effects machine that could not have been made in 1967.
Well, the scientists, you know, for all they know, say that no human being could walk like that. No human being could walk like that. That's BS. Everybody in the country around here says, well, we know it's you. You tell the way you walk.
But Heironimus won't demonstrate the Bigfoot walk he says he did in the film because talks are underway to make his story and Greg Long's book into a TV special, one in which Heironimus's walk would be scientifically compared to the ape walk in the film. And yes, he wants money to do it.
What do you say to the people that say, okay, Bob Heironimus is coming forward now because he wants to make money off of this?
It's not necessarily making the money off it. It's that people need to know the truth about it.
And do you think you're entitled to be paid something?
It's my turn, let's put it that way. Since I was never, you know, even recognized at all by anybody, maybe, you know, someday I'll get my $1,000 back. Who knows?
We wondered what it would look like if we tried to make a Bigfoot film of our own, the way Long and Heironimus say Roger Patterson made his. We picked up a gorilla suit at Champion Party Supply and made no modifications to it. We used a 16mm film camera, roughly like the one Patterson used. You be the judge. Does it show how easily Roger Patterson's film could have been faked? Or does it help prove Patterson's film is much more than a man in a gorilla suit?
Every effort by Hollywood to make a Sasquatch of their own falls short of this film. Very far short. For the simple reason that the people in the suits don't have the right arms and legs.
What do you say to the people that say that Bob Heironimus is lying about this? He couldn't possibly have been in that suit.
They don't want to know the truth.
And to the people who just don't want to believe it, who just say, no, that's Bigfoot, what do you say?
Like I say, Roger fooled them.
Well, we haven't heard the end of this one. In fact, the whole case could end up in court. Imagine that.